Let's be honest. Most of us are trying to study smarter. We buy new notebooks, set timers, and promise ourselves that this time will be different. But here's the strange part. Sometimes the harder we study, the less we actually learn. It's not about effort, it's about habits. And according to cognitive science, some of the most common study habits people swear by are actually making you dumber. Not instantly, but slowly, over time, they weaken your focus, your memory, and your ability to think deeply.
In this video, we'll look at 7 study habits that feel productive but quietly sabotage your learning. You'll understand why they're bad, backed by real psychology, and what to do instead so you can actually retain what you study. By the end, you'll see studying differently, not as a battle of willpower, but as a science of attention and memory. Let's begin.
Habit number 1. Studying while multitasking. You know the scene. The open laptop, music playing, phone nearby, maybe a YouTube tab, just for background. It feels harmless, even comforting. But according to research from Stanford University, multitaskers actually perform worse on memory and attention tests than people who focus on one task at a time. Why? Because the brain doesn't actually multitask. It switches rapidly between tasks, and each switch burns a tiny bit of mental energy, what psychologists call attention residue. So, when you jump between your notes and your phone, you leave a bit of your focus behind. Over time, that scattered focus makes it harder to enter deep concentration.
What to do instead? Try single-tasking blocks. 25 minutes fully focused, 5 minutes off. Use the Pomodoro method, or just set a timer and commit. One task, one tab, one goal. It sounds simple, but it's almost revolutionary in today's world.
Number 2. Rereading notes instead of recalling. It feels productive to highlight, underline, and reread your notes before an exam. But here's the problem. It gives you the illusion of mastery. Cognitive scientists call it fluency illusion. You think you know it just because it looks familiar on the page. In reality, the information sits in your short-term memory, not your long-term understanding.
The fix? Use active recall. Close the book, look away from your notes, and try to explain the concept in your own words. That struggle, that slight mental friction, is how memory strengthens. Think of it as your brain lifting weights. You can even teach it to an imaginary audience or record yourself explaining it out loud. If you can explain it simply, you truly understand it.
Number 3. Cramming for hours without rest. There's something heroic about studying all night. The caffeine, the late focus, the idea that you're grinding. But your brain doesn't work like a muscle that grows from exhaustion. It's more like a sponge. It needs rest to absorb. Studies from the University of Illinois show that attention drops sharply after 45 to 60 minutes of continuous focus. After that, you're just staring at words, not learning.
What to do instead? Break your sessions into deep focus blocks of 50 minutes, followed by short 10-minute breaks. Walk, stretch, look outside, or even lie down for a minute. Spacing out your learning sessions also activates the spacing effect, a proven memory principle that helps information stick longer. So instead of studying for 6 hours in one go, try 90 minutes today, 90 minutes tomorrow, and 90 the next day. You'll retain far more with half the stress.
Habit 4. Studying only when it feels easy. We all love that cozy feeling. Clean desk, lo-fi music, maybe a warm drink. It feels right. But easy studying is often shallow studying. Neuroscientist Robert Bjork calls it desirable difficulty. When something feels a bit challenging, when you struggle to recall or connect ideas, that's when deep learning happens. So, if you only study what feels familiar, you're building comfort, not knowledge.
A better approach: intentionally add friction to your study routine. Shuffle flashcards instead of reading them in order. Mix topics instead of grouping similar ones, a technique known as interleaving. It feels messier, but that's how your brain learns to apply knowledge in different contexts, not just in perfect order.
Number 5. Highlighting too much. It's colorful, it's satisfying, but when everything is highlighted, nothing is highlighted. Researchers from Princeton found that excessive highlighting doesn't improve recall. In fact, it can reduce it because it encourages you to reread instead of process. Try this instead. Highlight only after you've understood the material. Then summarize the highlighted section in your own words in the margins or a separate notebook. Highlighting should be a signal, not decoration. Number 6. Sacrificing sleep for extra study hours. We've all done it. Just one more chapter. But memory consolidation, the process of turning short-term knowledge into long-term understanding, happens during sleep. In fact, a study from Harvard Medical School found that students who slept after studying performed 40% better on recall tests than those who stayed awake. So when you trade sleep for study, you're literally erasing what you just learned.
How to fix it? Try scheduling your most important study sessions earlier in the day, even if it's just one focused hour. Then sleep without guilt. Your brain will keep working while you rest. And finally, habit number 7. Never reflecting on what you learned. Most students move from one topic to another without ever asking, "What did I actually learn today? What still confuses me?" That's a mistake, because learning isn't just about input, it's also about integration. Psychologists call it metacognition, thinking about your thinking. Students who regularly reflect on what they've learned show up to 40% better retention rates over time. Here's how to do it. After each study session, take 2 minutes to write down 3 key ideas you learned, 1 question you still have, 1 way you could apply it in real life. It's simple, but it transforms studying into understanding.
Now, before we wrap up, a quick warning. If you hear these habits and think, "I do all of them," don't panic. Most of us were never taught how to learn. We were taught what to learn, not how. But once you start replacing these habits, even slowly, you'll notice something. Studying starts to feel lighter. Focus becomes natural, not forced, and you retain more with less time. The danger is to think, "I'll fix it later," because these habits build quietly, and they can keep you stuck for years. So let's quickly recap. Multitasking kills deep focus. Single task instead. Rereading feels easy. Use active recall. Cramming burns out memory. Space your sessions. Comfort studying limits growth. Add desirable difficulty. Over-highlighting wastes time. Summarize instead. Skipping sleep destroys recall. Rest is part of learning. No reflection means no integration. Always review your learning. These aren't huge changes. They're small shifts in how you study. But small shifts change everything. If you found even one of these helpful, try it today. Don't wait for the perfect schedule or the perfect system. Just pick one, maybe active recall or shorter sessions, and do it once. Then watch what happens. You'll notice your mind feels sharper, your recall faster, and your confidence higher. Because smart studying isn't about working harder, it's about working with your brain, not against it. If you want more science-backed habits like these, subscribe. I break down complex psychology into simple, practical steps every week. And remember, it's not about being perfect,
It's about improving intelligently. See you in the next one.